And welcome to our first edition ever of Atmosphere 360. I'm geoforecaster Andrew Fleck, and today our eyes are going to definitely be on the United States. And even the past 2 weeks, this month of October has come in with extremes, average or below average temperatures. And again, this weekend, thunderstorms. Some meteorologists, some weather enthusiasts, quite a bit excited, able to watch radar and see what lights up throughout beginning Friday and lasting into Sunday. We're going to talk about all of this on Atmosphere 360 today. First of all, we're going to look at the map in front of you. This is temperatures from this morning. We have definitely evidence to why this month beginning has been average to below average for the heartland of the country and eastward. The Northeast, the Mid-Atlantic, you woke up with some 30s and low 40s today, obviously in this blue here. That explains why you guys were under frost advisories and even some freeze warnings. It'd be interesting to see if there's any of those frost images that you can send to Environmental Atmosphere. We'd love to hear about it. Obviously, another area is in the upper Midwest. You guys, even from September, have seen some frost. Now October is just adding some insult to injury, and waking up in the 20s to 30s, your winter has just about begun, especially that early season snowstorm for northern Minnesota and the Dakotas. And another area, again, is those Colorado Rockies, those Rocky Mountains. That higher terrain obviously is going to promote some colder temperatures more than some of those low-lying locations. So the question is, it's been average, it's been below average temperature-wise, but where has this exactly been? Well, we're going to show you that. And so what we did here at Environmental Atmosphere is we went ahead and put in temperatures for the beginning of October up to the second week, and we basically used 850 air temperatures to give an average of where the coldest was or where the average to above average temperatures were. And clearly, as we just spoke over talking about the current morning temperatures on Friday, in a slide earlier, where the cold air was. Obviously, it's shown here the last 2 weeks where it has been, again, that central heart of the country, the upper Midwest, even as far into the Mid-Atlantic. But either side of that, it's been average to above average, especially for the West Coast, the Pacific Northwest. You guys have been above average. You guys have been a little drier, and that's because of that high pressure. But don't lay down for it. Eventually, this pattern will break. Eventually, you will begin in on some of those rain showers and some of those train of West Coast storms. And even on model, that is showing that to happen. So keep your fingers crossed. You guys will cool down. You guys will get a little wet. I know it's been definitely dry out there, wildfires and such. Of course, across the east, you've had that high pressure off the eastern seaboard. Hasn't exactly been too wet, but it's been about average. It's been about above average certain days, and that's where we've been. But definitely a very average, colder and much colder day and month to begin for the central half of the United States. So why really has this been? Well, the team goes more in depth by showing you that this year, unlike last year, we had really a lot more of to work with in regard to colder air. Last year, that was much more of a novelty, not too much going, and that's why we didn't have the cold air that could promote these early season chill as we're having this year. And again, that is due to obviously having a high pressure positioned over here toward the northern end of the pole, and we have a high pressure out here. And again, folks, this is for 48 hours out, so you don't really see too much troughing here. That's due to an upper level system across the southwest United States, and that's going to bring itself northeastward into the central heart of the United States. Warm places up, produce some thunderstorms into the weekend, and again, that's that 48-hour time frame, so that makes best sense. But as we go toward next week and what we're going to be experiencing, you could definitely see clearly that the trough comes back, the high pressure builds back around the west, and the low pressure, because of that, strengthens up here, and now we have a trough digging another northwesterly flow. High pressure off the eastern seaboard here, and not only will that bring chillier temperatures back into the country by next week, but with that high pressure there might be enough forcing to create even a coastal storm or two. Now, obviously I said colder temperatures. It's October. We're not talking about major snowstorms here. Yes, we had one last year, but we're not talking about cold enough air yet to promote snowstorms. But with having that high pressure there, the trough combined, definitely some rain, and obviously an active pattern for the central to eastern United States. And then obviously we go a little further down the line and look 2 weeks, and same exact pattern of what we have just shown you the last two slides. Again, that low pressure up there, very strong. It's inviting a lot of cold air down into the country. This time it even looks for the northwest, the central heart of the country, eastern United States, more troughing for the east. So more potential of wetter weather, chillier weather. And again, that high pressure keeps where it's at. And as long as this pattern keeps throughout October, folks, we're going to be talking about that below average temperature in the central heart of the country, the east. But the one location I definitely want to stress is the Pacific Northwest. You guys will definitely get cooler. You guys will definitely get wetter down the road. And if not, like I've said, the models have already indicated that you've had some showers today and you will continue off into the weekend and next week. That's a great sign, again, for some of those drier locations. So really looking at the temperatures as a whole, I believe that this is the pattern for October. Just a lot of troughing, a lot of chillier weather. Some spots could get in with some snow, obviously more of the northern locations. But hey, this is October, this is where we're at, and this might just foreshadow the rest of winter. Now, to say that November doesn't come back warmer, I would be lying. That has happened many times before when we've had a colder October. But definitely, this gives a good indication that if this type of pattern is in the mix, this could very well occur later down the line into December, January, February, and maybe from last year on the contrary, be a lot more snowier. And remember, folks, Geoenvironmental Atmosphere is coming out with their winter forecast November 1st. Don't forget it. We will have a much more in detail synopsis about what to expect. So after looking at temperatures, we want to show you obviously the most important feature of the weekend, and that is severe weather. We look at radar currently. As of this afternoon, we have just a couple of showers, maybe some heavier or light thunderstorms entering around Arkansas and Oklahoma. But this is due to that upper level low pressure system that's positioned just around here. There's some spin of some lighter showers around it, and that'll occur for the rest of your day or early half of your day on Friday. Now, because of this low pressure, this upper level low pressure having that counterclockwise spin, it's going to bring some moisture into Texas and Oklahoma today, and it's going to really bring even some out of the Gulf and into some of those deep Gulf states. And that's what's producing, as we've talked about, some of those lighter showers, heavier showers, some thunderstorms. But what's really going to happen during your Saturday and Sundays, this is going to create quite a bit of a setup. Severe weather-wise, from Oklahoma, Texas, to Arkansas, Missouri, and even northeastward. And we're going to show you a little more of that with some of the graphics we have here. The first one is just going to be 500 vorticity. Again, very similar to what I explained in the last slide here. We have that upper level low pressure system around here. It has that counterclockwise spin. And so you're getting a lot of this moisture coming in from the east, a lot of the moisture coming in from the south, southeast. And that's why you're getting the buildup of warmer temperatures and higher dew points and that relative humidity, and even some of those locations experiencing the rain and thunderstorms that they are already. And now Friday won't be that very organized day for thunderstorms, but it will be sporadic. There will be different thunderstorms around, and that's what we can expect, and in fact what we are expecting at Geoenvironmental Atmosphere. And looking at those conditions, in fact, of what we just explained, it's very evident. This imagery here is of Friday. Very evident that in this darker green, lighter green, this is where some of the highest dew points are. That's best conditions where moisture gives way to rain, gives way to thunderstorms. And you can see it's right around in this area here. And that's where we're expecting much of the thunderstorms and rain to produce. In fact, we were just showing you a bit of a area of thunderstorm activity in Arkansas at this time, and that will continue throughout much of the day. Now, as this upper level low pressure moves more to the northeast, it will pick up more moisture as it nears more of that area of the Gulf, more of that flow, and that's where some of those storms will develop, in fact, more organized. And that is where we're talking more of Saturday and Sunday, as I explained. And we'll show you that map here because this imagery here now moves the moisture not only around the deep south, but it begins to spring further north into Kansas and into Missouri. And so now this is where you have, obviously, on Saturday, your low pressure system or somewhere around here, and you have that cold front. And so you have all this moisture beginning to knock northward, and that's where you're going to have thunderstorms more linear, more in supercells. They're going to develop, and we do expect that. Now, of course, Sunday, another day that we are talking about, the same chance for thunderstorms as Saturday. In fact, we're here at the office thinking that this could even be the worst day of the weekend in regards to storms. The full brunt of the moisture has caught this low pressure system. You have obviously the low up here, you obviously have a front. There's a very distinct cutoff from the moist air and the dry air, and that's normally where you can get these thunderstorms developing. Now, ahead of that, these storms that do develop have a lot of moisture to play with, and so that's why Sunday we're thinking the worst day could be Texas, Oklahoma, Missouri, Arkansas, Iowa, even up into Illinois, Chicago area. We definitely want to make that known because some of these storms, they can be and they will become severe. And then, of course, last but not least, I do want to show you a different imagery, and this is vorticity. Gives you a nice indication of what we're dealing with here with the upper level low and where the surface features are going to develop out of this. Again, that upper level low is positioned right about here. And so that's that spin. And ahead of that, that deepest area of vorticity, you're going to have some pockets of smaller bits of vorticity, and that's where really these thunderstorms are going to develop. Folks, this imagery is for Sunday, and so you can see from anywhere from Texas to Oklahoma, northeastward in this corridor here is where we're thinking storms could form. As of right now, we're pretty concerned mostly with Oklahoma to Missouri to Illinois, Arkansas. Models have picked up on a linear line that could move through there. Again, we're not, buffering up anything here to say that this is going to be historic or the worst of the worst, but it's always good to be alert. It's always very good to be known that there could be some thunderstorms possible, and that we want to make sure that if you need to take the proper evacuation, the proper caution, that you do so. Safety is very important, and that is one thing that we try to strive here at Geoenvironmental Atmosphere. So that is it for our first episode of Atmosphere 360. We hope you enjoyed it. We're going to try to go more live and more frequent during the upcoming weeks and even months into this winter season. Be sure to check back for more. I'm geoforecaster Andrew Fleck. Have a great day.